almost too early for a panel. At MAGFest. I think we all were drinking before.
How are you doing this morning?
Good. Hey.
Oh, it's true.
Energetic. That's a good one. After the signing. Big coffee. By the way, sorry. I'm just enjoying the costumes over there. All done. So yes. Good morning. Good morning. We'll all be coming slowly online over the next few minutes. So yeah, welcome to Screen.
You're on the screen. Screen. You're big.
Too early for that.
Too early for Screen. Our new catchphrase. It's just too early. So yes, welcome to Geek Pride. This primarily is just sort of a hangout, conversational panel. The guidebook description was a little, well, I would say douchey. But I almost didn't want to go to my panel. So don't worry, this is just general discussion. It's a general Q&A conversation piece, and basically all of us waking up, I think, is the key to this. So for
Morning Coffee Talk with Matt and Marisha at MAGFest.
That would be a great panel.
that is now the panel.
It has been decided.
Do we need coffee though? Who has coffee? I have coffee.
Here on 102.4, the Smooth Jazz Network. Yes. Who offered? I'll take it. I don't know who you are, but I love you. What?
I can get some secret if that works. What type?
Amazing. Lots of cream and lots of sugar. Almost as much. Oh, for tea.
It's like it's got all
Lots of cream and lots of sugar. Yeah. Wise guys. You're amazing. Holy shit. I like it. Earl Grey works, yeah.
Earl Grey
Whatever. Just as long as it has caffeine.
Good. There's like switches on here, and I want to hit them, but I shouldn't. I don't know what they do.
We're such a lively bunch. So,
Hi!
how's everyone's Saturday morning? Everyone have a good Friday night? Yeah. Good.
Damn right.
orange asleep. Woo!
There you go.
Yeah. Same. You're about.
They should not pinball this night, though, as
I have a soft spot for pinball in my heart, and it's hard to find pinball these days. So I love pinball. I know you're a little. It's not your favorite.
well. Well, no, because there's other games too. But I enjoy pinball as well. Did you get a chance to try the Frogger machine where they make Frogger invisible?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh my God, we did that. It was so great. It was like a joint effort. It was awesome. Got to the other side. It was like the highlight of our 2017 so far.
I know there are progressive levels, and it's like an entire Frogger game, but just beating the first level
level
was beating the game. So
It was awesome.
it's an endeavor. But that's one of the reasons why I love MAGFest, because shit like that is here. You're like, sure, of course it is. And then you lose a half an hour to it.
Yeah.
I guess we should do introductions. Who are you?
Hello, I am Marisha Ray. I am a voice actor and personality, and I do a little bit of everything out of Los Angeles, California. You can see me on shows such as Roll. You can also see me on Signal Boost. You can hear me in Star Wars Battlefront and Lego Avengers and Fire Emblem Fates, Persona, and I like nerdy things. Pretty geeky. Yeah, that's me. How about you? Who are you?
That's a very existential question.
Yeah.
It's not mine. I don't need it. Oh, this wasn't even plugged in the whole time. Takes the high stakes out of my position. What? Easy to amuse. Hi, my name is Matthew Mercer. I'm also a voice actor and general all-around nerdy-ass person. Occasionally plays Dungeons and Dragons. There you go.
Why did you force us into that introduction when you gave such a half-assed one?
Well, no, because you gave a really good one. Like by comparison, I would have.
Oh, so you just saw that someone else did a really good job and you decided to just not try? That's not a good lesson to teach people.
At 11:30 a.m. on a Saturday at MAGFest.
How do you think I got so good at introducing myself, Matt? I
You went
practiced. This is getting far off the rails already. All right.
So yes, Geek Pride. I mean, the essence and theme of this panel is the fact that geek culture, becoming pop culture, has been a very prominent transition in this generation, especially these past 10 years. And it has its pros and cons in many ways. I think the pros far outweigh the cons, especially as a kid that grew up where a lot of geek culture was considered misunderstood, was something that you kind of had to keep hidden for the most part, you felt, because there just was a lack of understanding, or at least a general idea or space that it was acceptable to essentially let your geek flag fly. And it's been kind of, for me, it's been a very welcoming, very wonderful experience to go from that point in my younger adult life and childhood to watching this kind of new era of not just emerging geeks, but pretty much a realization that everyone in their own right is really passionate about something. And that's kind of what the essence of geek culture is. What we know primarily as geek culture, what this event revolves around: video games, cartoons, all these things that have long time, held that banner. Being a geek, essentially, in my opinion, at its core, means just being extremely passionate about a specific hobby or something that is important to you, so much to the point where when you find out somebody else is also interested in the same thing, you're like, oh my god, okay, let's talk about it. So yeah, it's been kind of cool to watch that definition expand through the years, and what we've held as a very, very strong point of personal identification. Kind of fun to talk about in any space without feeling like you're going to be judged necessarily. So it's that transition is a very kind of a beginning basis of this panel's conversation, if anything. Now, mind you, that comes with its own difficulties. We've both had our moments through life where we've had to defend ourselves from people that were not quite as understanding of our different standpoints too, and I'm sure many of you have those same circumstances in your life. And that's part of what also makes it such a wonderful culture and community that's built out of it, is that we've persevered through these periods of judgment and come through both stronger for it and not necessarily holding against the other side too. And misunderstanding and misinformation is the biggest proponent of that type of a dissonance, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't say we're out of the woods yet.
No, by no means are we out of the woods. But compared to what it was before, I think that there is a momentum culturally that if we continue to carry that as a people and as a group of trendsetters showing a better way to progress, that the next generation won't even have any of those stumbling blocks, hopefully.
Yeah. Word.
Touche. But yeah, so as far T is alive.
That's okay. You're amazing.
I'm good. This changes everything. This is the Mentos commercial right here. This is the one where all of a sudden she goes like, oh, I can pick up a car by myself. By the way, Mentos commercials not teach you good lessons for life in general.
I mean, you try hard enough to believe in yourself, you can do anything.
That's true. Probably not.
See, Matt, and she wasn't even in the room when I gave my description of myself. She knows. Just have to believe in yourself.
I'm not saying not to believe in yourself, I just don't think Mentos are going to fix any issue you have. Yeah, I don't like hate looking forward to 2 hours of the DMV and be like, I'll just pop Mentos, and then I'm still sitting with a Mentos now for 2 hours in the DMV.
It's an impressive Mentos in the last 2 hours.
You're right. This changes everything. Anyway, so welcome. There are either any holdover questions from our Critical Role panel last night that you wanted to ask that didn't have a chance to happen. Now would be your opportunity to bring those to the front microphone, or any other questions in general about the voice acting industry, about, I don't know, bowling ball etiquette, in which case you're at the wrong panel, but sure. Yeah, just go ahead and line up here at the microphone, go ahead and we'll start taking this into the Q&A portion of the morning's panel.
Emphasis on morning.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Good. Good morning.
I don't actually have a question.
Mhm.
I talked to you for a second after the panel.
Mhm.
I was the one whose fiance is waiting for the Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes.
She's actually waiting in the line for the signing for me because she's the best person in the world.
Oh.
But I was just wondering, if you want to maybe give me something to get him in touch with you or something at some point.
Yes. Please.
Signing? Or-
Yes, exciting. That would be awesome.
We're huge fanboys, Lens.
She actually had tickets before it was on Broadway, and she's like, "Oh, I'll see you later, Mom. It's just another one of Lynn's plays."
Oh. She'll remember that on her deathbed.
That's amazing. No, we will definitely take you up on that offer and
Yeah,
exploit your
100%.
connection shamelessly. That's awesome, thank you. We'll talk about it.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
So my question is,
Yes.
talking about making money. If you're going to make a game, you have infinite money, you can make whatever game you want. What would you make, and would you be voice acting in it?
Oh, interesting.
Whoa. Any game?
It's really hard to work for
Oh man. Like, you want to create something original,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's so many great games that I would like to see remade with infinite budget.
Oh.
Because there's that aspect too. So it's like, do I go nostalgia or do I go, my own path? That's already in itself like a serious question. Because Japanese like, well, we could all use a, PS4 level Chrono Trigger remake, right? Because someone has the voice maggot. To answer your second question.
Yes. Answer
Man. Well, like a remake of the original Maniac Mansion.
Oh my god, yeah, that would actually be awesome.
I would
Anything
love
else
that.
you have?
Yeah. It did tentacles well, but
Yeah.
that one is a little more passable as far as like expected modern day graphics and storytelling. But like, if you haven't played the original like LucasArts Maniac Mansion, it kickstarted a lot of fun genre games thereafter. It's good stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, sure. There was like a bunch of great kind of like point and click adventure games I think would be great in like if we start, because VR is like the new thing. It's gonna be some like the room with VR. That would be awesome. Anytime.
Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
That's where my
A puzzle game, yes. Yes.
Although
And
Tommy's
it's like he put the water bottle right at me. It's incredible.
Actually, that would be amazing. That's mine. Tommy Wiseau's The Room, the VR experience.
You can be the favorite customer in The Room VR experience.
Do you want to be a Luiso or Marv?
well, hi, Mark.
Either way, pull trigger to tear him apart. Thank you for the can of worms this question was.
Anyway, how was your question? Anyway,
My brain is not here yet. This is the funniest shit I've heard all
Good,
day.
I do.
Did Vin Diesel actually roll to nat 20s?
Yeah.
Yes! Which let me tell you,
I didn't believe it. I was like,
dude. Okay, you have to I'll give you a little preface here. The pressure that was mounting on this circumstance. I get a call 3 days before filming this thing from Dan Casey, Nerdist. Hey Matt, so we want to have you, if you're available, DM for Vin Diesel on Monday. I'm like, yeah. And you clear the books for that shit. He's like, okay, so we'll have like a 2-hour adventure, whatever you want to do. Just make sure it's kind of themed after the film, The Witch Hunter, because it's kind of a tie-in promotional thing. I'm like, totally, I can do that. And that was kind of the spark that eventually became the Blood Hunter.
Yes.
But, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I designed this like 2 hour. I'm like, all right, it's kind of condensed, but I can make it work. I can squeeze a story arc in here, make it fun for him, hopefully. Hope it's okay. Then the day before, I get a call again, like, hey, so we got word back from Vin Diesel's manager. Looks like we're only gonna have an hour with him. So if you can truncate the story a bit to fit within an hour. I'm like, okay, all right. So.
And then you showed up on set.
And then I showed up on set about an hour before he arrived, so we can set up the thing and get everything ready. Like, hey, so he's actually only going to be for about 20 minutes or so. And he truncated about 20 minutes. I'm like,
Because they were like, well, we have him for an hour, so we need like 10 minutes to get him just through hair and makeup really fast.
Hair?
Like,
It's just a buffing wheel.
They also wanted 20 minutes of promotional Q&A to like just ask them questions about the movie and stuff, which we begged them to try and scrap it because I was like, guys, I see what you're doing. They still wanted to like have a promotional element for the movie, but I'm like, you will find those exact same questions in every other interview for every other press junket. You can probably go find all those answers on like E! Entertainment. Like, why don't we just lay D&D for an hour? So yeah, they ended up cutting it down to like 20, 30 minutes.
yeah.
And
Well,
it was still amazing.
And I squeezed it to about
30,
25,
yeah.
30, and they were like, no!
Fine now.
Vin is fine.
So on top of that pressure, what happens if Vin Diesel, who hasn't played D&D in a little bit, shows up and rolls poorly? Yeah, I'm like, if he just biffs it, this is going to be the worst experience in my entire career. But I have no control over that, and he's here, we're ready to go. Yeah.
Well, plus on top of that, they kept telling like Laura and Travis and Jobot and like the other people who were in that, being like, okay, Vin is the star here, so just really kind of let him be the hero in the campaign, let him do it, so let him kind of be the leader. So he was like, so Matt gets started, and he's like, what do you guys want to do? And you just see all of their faces go to Vin, and Vin is like, and he's like, I haven't played in 15 years. So there's like a good solid like couple minutes there at the top where everyone was like, you talk, not me.
Yeah, he started off a little, just like, oh, probably pretty baked. And pretty sure he was. And you just kind of like uncomfortable at first because he just was thrown into this chaos, and he just took him a little bit to kind of get going. But as you watch like the video, once he finally clicks back in, especially after that first critical, which the minute he rolled the natural 20, there was such a weight off my shoulders at that point. Like all the tension had been building, and it could have been the biggest, like just face plant I've ever made. Just went away. One critical was all I needed, because watching him go, critical! I felt like an 8-year-old suddenly. I was like,
I'll also never forget the camera guy. I'll never forget this because he's a big guy. And you get in person and he's an even bigger guy. And so they had like just like one of our PAs sitting in to kind of get the frame, doing test shots and whatnot. And then Vin comes in and sits down and he's like, and the camera guy that was there was like, okay, you know what, let me back my camera. Adjust the focus. Oh man, wider frame. I'll never forget it. Never. Pull the sticks back.
So yeah, so the first 20 was a huge weight, and the second 20, at that point I was like, all right, now you're just trying too hard. Thank you. They were my dice. Because they didn't have any, like, who here in this set has dice? I'm like,
Wasn't Laura there?
so they were my dice. Then I'm like,
Laura was there, wasn't she?
So I was so excited that happened because he was supposed to be the hero, but like the hero was also starting off with trepidation. So it was like those are the moments that he needed to kind of get into it and feel good. And like, yeah, I'm the master. Show enough, you know, it was great. I will say, a person of Vin Diesel's international stardom and success as an actor, there's like a 98% chance when you meet them in person that they're going to be a complete asshole. And so I was trying very hard to just keep my reservations and not judge, and like just hope for the best. And me and him got a good like 5-6 minutes one-on-one, just prepping for the game and just chatting, getting to know each other a little bit. He's one of the nicest and coolest dudes I've met, and I was so happy to find that out. Once again, being begged public help. But no, like legitimately was just down to earth, all smiles, excited to play, and just wanted to refresh on the rules. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a class already. No, I remember that. Okay," and he got into it, and we had a conversation about his background in theater and how he started playing D&D originally, and yeah, I became a fan. Like I was a fan already from like Pitch Black. I wasn't too much into the Triple X games or Fast and the Furious, except for maybe 3, because that was ridiculous.
You shut your mouth about Fast and Furious.
I said I didn't like them. I just said that I've come to enjoy
Those are the best
movies.
movies.
I agree. But it wasn't until I really met him that I had to go back and be like, all right, I'll rewatch all of them. Just for the record, if you guys have the opportunity to complete tangent, there's Universal Studios Fast and the Furious ride, and on YouTube, some people have hidden cameras in to show you the 3D experience if you haven't done it. Vin Diesel is the cover of everything on that ride. He shows up for like 2 seconds in the ride. He shows up hanging from a helicopter, and the proportions are so off that Vin Diesel is somehow 14 feet tall, clutching this bitty little helicopter.
Double the size of the copter, and like the physics make no sense.
I like to think that was part of his contract. He's like, I won't do this unless I'm bigger than a helicopter. Like, sure, Vin. Anyway, let's tangent over. Good question, thank you.
So my question is,
Thank you.
D&D, Matt, has really inspired you as far as voice acting, and Marisha was saying last night for healing more. So if you had not found D&D, how would that affect you today?
Life would be like when you're still in Kansas and Wizard of Oz. Kind of like Black and White, I imagine. I mean, I don't know. That's hard to say. That's kind of one of those weird
Like, do you think
multiple
you'd still be
timelines.
doing whatever it was before that Brian was acting, I suppose?
What, how many?
Because D&D inspired you,
Yeah.
right, to get to here. So you didn't have that spark, that thing, you know.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
For me, I mean, I probably would have still pushed for a voiceover career at the time because I was just, I grew up on cartoons and video games anyway. But a lot of my practice, a lot of my skill set, a lot of those early hardest psychoses, I like to refer to that, where again, it gives random non-existent character names and voices. That all was honed there. So I would have probably been many steps behind as far as the repertoire and the experience. So I would probably not be here at MAGFest if I wouldn't be having a career probably as extensive as I have. And I would be trying to figure out what the hell to do with my free time. I didn't discover it in high school, I still discovered it later on. It was one of those things that the universe was like pushing it towards me, like, hey, trust me, you want to play this. And I was like, I already am, but thank you. But if I never had the experience of tabletop RPGs, I would just feel hollow inside. I don't know why. I would have this long listless stares at like 2 a.m. out the window and be like, something's just not right. Something's missing.
In some alternate universe, there is a Matt Mercer that is doing that.
And then Sam McLaughlin comes on.
acting in theater and video games and stuff like that. So I probably would have still ended up in a adjacent path. How is it? But definitely probably not
I
as
saw chocolate. I'm like,
rounded and like the way that D&D has definitely helped flesh everything out in a weird way. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Hi.
My name is Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Love you guys. Love the work that you do, especially Critical Role. Try to watch every Thursday night, but me and a friend of mine are about to totally dedicate ourselves to watching it now. So awesome. But we're working to it. But my question for you guys is what's your geekiest guilty pleasure?
What is your geekiest guilty pleasure, Marisha?
I should feel guilty.
They're not reassuring.
I was one of mine, though it's much more prominent nowadays, is collecting, categorizing, and arranging Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. But thanks to Periscope and our community that has grown, that is no longer much of a secret. In fact, it feeds the issue. But yeah, things that would be expected. I have a very, very, let me see, I have a very heavy soft spot in my heart for RPG-themed, for lack of a better term, business simulators, like the Rocketeer series, which is where, if others aren't familiar with it, it's kind of like a Japanese fantasy RPG, but instead of being like the heroes, you play as the item shop owner. And you have to get stock in, you have to order things, you actually sponsor adventurers within the dungeons to get equipment and materials to bring back so you can make better equipment that you can then sell, and you have to make sure that you arrange and upgrade the displays to look better for the adventures as they come through, and I love it.
Grab your processor, start breaking it, you get paid for that.
Yeah, that's, man. I'm sure I have a ton. I'm just trying to think of them all. I love my label maker. Label maker is amazing.
Yeah, double D that shit.
Love the label.
I attacked this thing, Jim. I have fought the over like
It doesn't exist until it has its actual name on it. That's when I know it's real.
I love it. It's been great.
It's awesome.
I'll leave it at that.
Label maker.
Morning.
Morning.
My name is Brett.
Brett.
I'm actually here with my wife, that
Oh, Sarah.
Critical Role has been such a big positive force and inspiration for a lot of people, and with the video from the Christmas episode of Talks Maka, everyone saying what it meant to them, how for a lot of people it changed them for the better, it changed me for the better, changed my wife for the better. How has it changed you?
Oh man.
I mean, I talked a little bit last night on, kind of what Kilo has taught me and whatnot. The definite outreach and, continuing outpouring from the community is definitely amazing. I mean, because it's like the best community that we've ever been part of. I came from hosting, and once again, I feel like I was saying, I did some, I've been around and been in the web and geek and video game sphere for, about 6, going on 8 years now, somewhere in there. And as we all know, the many communities out there and the web isn't very nice or welcoming. And I specifically, when I was doing hosting in video games, I more or less I stepped back from it there for a while, and I didn't 100% separate myself, but I was just like, why make things for a community that apparently very vocally doesn't want me a part of it? So I was like, never mind. forget it. Like, I would open my mouth about video games and I would just get, fake, bitch, poser, tits or get the fuck out, like you name it, I've heard it. So like, why? Like, what's the point? And then so when we did Critical Role, we had a very similar trepidation. Like, it's a very personal thing for us, it's very private, it's kind of burying ourselves in a few ways. So we didn't want to necessarily open up ourselves to that type of ridicule unless it was going to pay off. And we thought, we were like, this could be amazing. Or it could be a giant trash fire disaster. We don't know when we were going into the show. Because we were like, there's no way anybody's going to want to sit and watch 3 to 4 hours of people sit around and play D&D live, pretty much nonstop. We were like, there's no one who's going to care. And then after we were like, if this doesn't work, after like 6 weeks, we'll just stop the show and go back to playing in our kitchens just like we were, and it's really nothing lost and nothing gained. It's fine. And then after 6 weeks, we were like, we kind of had that quick evaluation, like, are we gonna still do this? And by that point, we were already getting outpourings of fan mails, and people, and Amazon started selling out of D&D books on Thursday nights. Wonder why? We started like getting these pictures of these families saying that their family nights are playing D&D with everybody, and like, so it's like, and then all like the little girls like all the time when I get those like, my daughter's playing a druid because of you, and then that's the stuff that just like, I mean you can't, like you said, the pros far outweigh the cons, and with this community and this show, that was tenfold. It wasn't as much of a balance like some other communities and other web shows and stuff that we've done. This was like, oh, well, I mean, I get that a lot. We get asked that a lot because people like to be vocal, and they like to, and there's a vocal minority that likes to voice their displeasure with me or the way he does things or whatever. But that, luckily, the positivity that's coming out of this, and there's a far greater vocal majority of people who are just wonderful, amazing people. I mean, like this whole community is like, everyone's so fucking smart, everyone's so damn talented. Like, it's the most amazing grouping of an internet community that I've ever seen, and to be a part of it's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a very winded answer, but yeah.
It's interesting for me in particular because as the dungeon master of the show, as a person that creates the story for the players and for myself primarily, for our own fun, we're not tailoring it for an audience. Sorry, I'm making this for my friends and hope they enjoy it, and we put cameras in the room and invited people to watch. And I don't know why that happens to get the attention. I'm learning why it got the attention it did, is because we fought so hard to keep it honest, and I guess that honesty is what I want to see in the media that I consume, and I want to make sure that we make it through what we do. But those videos in particular, the all these new videos, I'm still recovering in a lot of ways from those. And we have many more that came in, and they're redoing an extended cut, we're releasing soon with all the ones that came in late. But it's humbling, it's flabbergasting, and it's amazing to think that something that you just create for you and your friends, and just inviting other people to share into it, would have such a profound effect on people unexpectedly. And on one level, it's an unexpected responsibility in a way. It's like, oh, well, I better not mess this up then. But at the same time, it makes it so much more fulfilling and worthwhile. And I feel like if my time were to end tomorrow, I've done something worthwhile with the time that I had. So I have nothing but you guys to thank for that. We are so appreciative, because we wouldn't have any of this without you guys. You guys are the community. You are the show. That's the thing. Like we jump on for a few hours, you know, every week to praise the story, but the community, the creator community, Team Human, all these people are the life breath that made it a phenomenon and continue to carry it, because that type of mentality goes into your own home games, it goes into your own friendships, it goes into you guys supporting each other and defending each other and forging these bonds that, you know, really, in my opinion, a lot of times only gaming can do. You know, it's part of the reason that MAGFest is so great, is because it's a place where all of us can come here and just be ourselves and party together, and everyone's down to do the same. So that's my only thing.
Thank you guys. Thank you for
voice acting question for both of you guys.
Yes.
Obviously, you try to take jobs that you enjoy playing the game, otherwise you wouldn't really be passionate about the position you're taking. Now, obviously, with a game like Overwatch or any of the Star Wars series, those are really huge. How much pressure do you have to actually play the game when you're done? And two, is there any games where you've just been like, I'm out, I don't want to have anything to do with this one?
I mean, companies don't pressure us necessarily to play the games after we've done them. I kind of wish they would, because it'd be kind of fun to watch some of the voice actors who don't play games be like, I don't know what's happening. They're starting to get, more and more companies are starting to realize the value in social media, you know, and bringing like their cast on, you know, the main Twitch, and like they had a bunch of their cast from Final Fantasy 15 on the launch day come and play. So they're starting to do things like that, which is probably going to have the non-gamer actors sweating a little. But there's not a lot of pressure per se. But we just happen to be gamers who also work in the industry, so the games we work on that we legitimately are excited about, yeah, we'll go home and play that shit. But there
There's
are.
some where we're like, that was nice.
That was a paycheck.
That was a paycheck. Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we got plenty of those.
We got plenty of those. You know, and then there's a decent amount of time that goes into it. Like, we just do not have time to play all the games that we're in. Which, wow, that sounded douchey. That was douchey. But, yeah, you like, man, still recovering from that amount of douche it just came out.
But no, it gives some perspective to that, though, because there are a lot of good games that we want to play that we're not in, and so it's like, would I rather play this really good, excited? I'm not in the Witcher series, but I will put hundreds of hours into it.
That's true, yeah.
So.
We still play the games we want to play. Like, I've toyed around with Battlefront, the Star Wars Battlefront, I'm not really a Battlefront person, but like, you know, Persona, like the other RPGs and stuff, that's way more engaging for me. So yeah, I think it just kind of depends, but yeah, we're always super fans of the genre first, and we're just glad we get to play in the spirit.
Thank you.
There's literally for the staff and guests, there's a whole room just full of tea and cookies. I did not know this was a thing until somebody's like, there's a tea. I'm like, you know where to find me.
And they call me up, please, the hospitality suite.
That's the run. And we have a high tea room. And if you know, it's quiet and lights are dim, and there's actually like cots to sleep on. Apparently. What? Sorry, you guys. Anyway, I just want to say, first of all, obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody here is thank you for Critical Role. Like, that has I work in a theater as a tech, and I've actually been able to convert several of my coworkers and actors to watching Critical Role, and then got them to play D&D with me, which is awesome. Also, pray for me, because with your custom bard class, I jokingly said, what if we had a high-level all-bard campaign? And they took it seriously.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I did this to me.
This sounds like the greatest idea.
It's its own like RPG system, like 7 Seas style. Like just a whole world where everyone is magical.
They're a traveling band, and they're touring, and they have roadies. And
Oh my God! It's like Jim and the Holograms.
That's something like I'm planning, but I'm like, how much of this actually? I have actors and technicians, and I have theater people. I have actual bards playing bards. They're all bards, and
So many.
I'm terrible. But the best part is I get to have the last word, and I can't say why because several of them might be watching the fun classes. It's fun.
That's awesome.
If they live that long.
Oh, take that, charisma's a dump stat.
That was my question. I promised you a question. With one of my friends, we were actually talking about what would our stats, if we actually had D&D stats as people, what would they be? Because the running joke is that I have a good friend who has very high intelligence, very high charisma, very low wisdom.
I'm back here, Katie.
Oh, yeah.
My other friend. It's like hanging out with actors or something.
So you're asking what
What would your personal dump stat be? What would be your high? Like what sort of, if you had to assign stats for yourself?
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
This is like a 2-hour discussion over drinks in a bar one day for all of us.
No, I would have all. Oh man, I would not have a high dexterity at all. I'm a clumsy oaf of a man. You know, this.
Yeah.
We saw my dexterity check on stage.
I think I'd have a low constitution.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
I hate the cold. I'll like first person puke if I can take a punch, but maybe that would be more like AC and strength based. Like it's not the physical damage, it's like everything else. I hate being sick. I hate period cramps. I hate it all. It's the bane of my existence if something's like physically wrong.
I think there was a point in time where I actually made a Marisha character sheet as part of like a Valentine's Day thing. Yeah, it's fun. I remember going, no, that'll be fine. She'll understand if I get more low constitution.
And I think did you put wisdom's in
I put wisdom's when you're high,
Yeah. I don't know.
No, you're pretty damn insightful, girl. People like that. She saved my ass on many occasions. I will admit I probably have a very low wisdom to a certain extent.
Charisma about like tenfold. My charisma would be like my second lowest stat. I feel like.
I don't think so. Yeah, I probably put Dex or Wisdom as my dump stats, or both evenly at like a solid 8.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like broken, but definitely lower than average.
You can probably get a better save than you do a check. But
Yeah. I may have feeded into a couple specialties, you know, here and there, but overall. Yeah, that was a great question.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so I don't know. Matt, I watched you the Devil Withdrawal like all my freshman year in high school. It's really nostalgic to me, and I don't think anybody else here has seen it because I didn't hear you clapping over anything.
For those who haven't seen There Will Be Brawl and you want to look at some internet history, it was a web series that I directed back in 2008, 2009. It was a live-action film noir HBO crime drama version of the Nintendo Smash Bros. Universe. And actually the reason I went to my first MAGFest is because we were guests for that web series back in 2009. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I just checked it out, so awesome.
My actual question is, did you ever, when you first got hired for like Fire Emblem and Smash Bros, did you ever have like, this is sort of fitting, or anything like that?
I did exactly, actually. Working on Fire Emblem was already in its own right pretty cool. It wasn't as strong a connection as Smash Brothers, but it was enough where I'm like, oh shit, it's like kind of sort of Marth-like adjacent, I guess. And then when I got called in to work on Smash Brothers for prom stuff, they didn't tell me what it was beforehand. It was just an undisclosed Nintendo project. I'm like, all right. And so I get in there and meet the producers. Like, all right, cool. So you're working on Smash Brothers today? I'm like, yeah! Like, you're not playable. I'm like, no. Like, but we make fun of that. Yeah! And so I didn't say anything at first, but in my head I was like, oh, this is the coolest kind of full circle from almost killing myself making a web series parodying Smash Brothers to being actually in the game. That was kind of an unexpected. I remember coming home being super excited to see you when it happened. But partway through the session, we were on break, and I like couldn't contain myself from the talking to the producers. I'm like, this is really cool because like back in the day, I did a web series called Devil Brawl, and they're like, oh no, we know, we've seen it. and there's that like brief pause of like, oh god. I did kill off a lot of characters.
So they saw all the stuff with Captain Falcon and Pin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like DDD.
Oh man, yeah. There was like I had 100 flashes of moments in that series. I was like, please don't be offended. Please don't be offended. And they're like, no, we're huge fans of it in college actually, and you know, we worked at Nintendo, and we didn't know that until we looked up your IMDb. And I was like, holy shit, like. As long as the Nintendo doesn't know that I have like a couple of sex scenes in there, I think it'll be okay. But yeah, no, it was a really kind of fun full circle that I hold some kind of badge on myself. Thank you.
Hello. Voice acting question actually, because at the risk of me sounding a little dense, because I don't really know how this works, when you go into an
Thank you.
you go into an audition, do they really have a set idea of what they want for a character? Or in other words, do they tailor the character around your voice, or are you expected to tailor your voice around what they want?
When you're pulled in, well, the audition process usually involves the audition sides, or the audition piece with the description of the character going out to a number of agencies. These agencies then disseminate those through their actors based on who they think would be good for which parts. So you get the audition, you either record it from home if you have a home set up, or you record at the actual agency if they have a booth. So most auditions, you aren't even interfacing with the actual producers or anyone on that side. You're just kind of throwing into the ether and crossing your fingers going, do you like what I gave them? And then if they don't like it, they'll have you in for callbacks. And callbacks is kind of like the next round. And that's usually where you get to go and meet at a studio with the actual producers and maybe the director, and they'll come to you and be like, all right, we liked something about your voice for this character. Let's see if we can tweak it with a few of these notes, and here's some new lines, and we'll see how you take direction. And that's where you kind of show what you have. But for the most part, and kind of why Marisha laughed when you answered the question, they'll tell you, what we're looking for is we want kind of this type of a Mark Hamill Joker type sound. And you're like, okay, so then
They go like this, they go, well, here's the thing, we want like a kind of Mark Hamill, kind of Joker sound, but with like a little bit of Heath Ledger, and but we want it to be distinguishable away from Mark Hamill, we don't want it to sound like Mark Hamill, so and then, but we don't really also, we don't want Jared Leto, but maybe just, how Jared Leto does that weird like nasally thing, so if you could just do that, they'll do that type of, and you're just like.
I guess when you were doing McCready and Fallout 4, they wanted kind of a Marty McFly vibe who shoots people.
Kind of, yeah. That's a wonderful breakdown for it. Which, by the way, from what you just said, Mark Hamill probably booked it, because that's how it works. We don't want Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Like, you kind of slowly start to learn that when they say, we don't want Rashida Jones, it means they want Rashida Jones, they just can't think of any other examples.
And if they can't afford her, they want somebody who's a backup.
Like her. Yeah.
But and a lot of times, and this is more often than not, a lot of people don't know really what they want until they hear it. So there is a confidence that comes with that as a performer, where even though they're asking for something, give them something that you feel is good and that feels right for the character and for you as an actor. If it wasn't right for the role, then you just move on to the next one. But more often than not, if you get called in for something, it's because you brought something different that they weren't expecting to, the role that they were asking for, and they were trying to find how they can play with that and bring it to something cool. And many times they'll tell you afterward, yeah, we had no idea what we were looking for until we heard your audition.
Okay.
So take that as a piece of confidence as well.
All right, thank you very much.
No worries. And yeah, for McCready's audition, sorry, I didn't mean to like stop on you guys. No! For McCready as well, it basically said like early 20s, mercenary, upbeat at times, but he's got a chip on his shoulder about certain things, kind of rough and tumble, but a nice guy. And that was like all they gave me. and so thus became Marty McFly was the shooter.
That was awesome.
How's it going, guys? I had a question for Matt.
Yes.
I know you've used the hourglass on Box Machina before. Have you ever thought about bringing any other alternative mechanics into the game, like, say, subjecting them to a dread tower or something like that?
If I could find a way to work it in where it didn't break the immersion of the narrative, then yes.
Like doing a one-off episode?
Yeah, what does that mean?
A one-off, maybe. Yeah, we haven't had a moment yet to really do a one-off since the story's been kind of driving for a little bit. If I like the idea of introducing mechanics like that. The hourglass is nice because it's kind of on my control. It doesn't require player interaction, and it's itself as a visual cue of our intention. So I love that aspect. And I'm always kind of trying to think of different things that we can incorporate to do certain other things. But like a dread tower would be difficult for our normal game because it involves each player having to go and interact with it per se, or I can do it on my own, I guess. But then it's almost my fault if it falls, which kind of it loses the player agency. So and we're kind of spread out.
What's the dread tower?
It's Jenga. It's Jenga tower.
Why didn't you just say Jenga tower? I recognize.
Yeah.
Why would anyone want this?
Can someone please make the Dread Tower horror movie? Not the game Dread, just like a Ouija board, like the haunted Dread Tower. Like, is it Jenga? No, we didn't need that license. It's the Dread Tower.
Judge Dread? No, we didn't get that license. Just the Dread.
Replace the block or die. Imagine how anticlimactic it's gonna be like,
You guys actually influenced me to DM my own games.
Nice.
Yeah, but I picked Dread because I thought it would be harder to screw up than running a D&D the first thing. And I ran them through a aliens-themed Dread game.
Nice.
And they ended up dying in the cold vacuum of space. And it was fantastic.
That's a beautiful ending. I love that. Oh, and aliens theme Dread game is actually a good idea.
I had sound effects and atmospheric stuff like the smoke machine and everything.
It's awesome. Okay. It's awesome. Thank you.
Hey, this is another voice acting question.
Yes.
So, I guess breaking into any kind of career, you guys have like a portfolio or a demo reel or something like that. I was wondering what you guys find is like the best kind of thing to incorporate in a demo reel or something like that, just to show your range to different people that you're trying to get a job for.
Honestly, start with showing off your natural voice first. I think so many people want to jump to be like, look at these crazy voices I can do. And the reality is, this crazy voice that you can do is not what, I mean, it's just not in media these days. Like, we're not doing Looney Tunes cartoons anymore, you know. So, for the most part, listen to media around you, and especially if you like, for example, video games or cartoons or whatever you're gonna want to go into, and just hear what other people, or even commercial, like listen to what they're booking right now. And for the most part, it's more natural, more cinematic. Part of the reason I book is because they actually like this lower kind of gravel to my voice that I have, because not a whole lot of females have that, and they like it for video games because it sounds a bit more gruff, because they're sultry types, you know. So just go with your strengths, because honestly, that's where you'll book the most.
Yeah, and on that regard too, like you can still do the character voices if you're comfortable in those, but save those till later.
Too, yeah, put them at the end, and like don't put on an accent on there unless like you know that accent is fail safe. Don't do a crazy character unless you know you can hold it for 4 hours, because that's the thing. If you book based on something that they pull in and then you can't deliver for 4 hours, then you
drag your career in the foot, essentially.
Yeah, you're in a worse place than you started.
Yeah.
So don't you don't need to be a jack of all trades, you know, you don't need a Mel Blanc, you know, stick to your strengths.
And then in that same regard too, the accent reason is because when you consider a lot of these casting directors work often with having to cast accented characters and have to cast a lot of actual British people, actual African people, actual Australians, and hearing these actual natural accents as often as they do and having to study them, when someone comes up and it's like, "Hello, governor," you know, on their audition tape or their demo table, they immediately shut out anything you have in your demo. It's just they're like, "Oh, not that guy." So yeah, you definitely want to stick to your strengths in that regard. Also consider too for voiceover. I mean, you think voiceover, you're like, iTunes video games. That is a hard part of the industry to break into, and it is a prominent part of the industry, but there are a lot of other forms of voiceover as well that fill in the gaps. There's radio commercials, there's industrial commercials, there's internal use industrial, there's promo. There are so many other facets of voiceover as well that all together help, and you kind of want to produce work that shows each bit, because that gives you the most competitive edge. I have a lot of friends that I've met through my agency who make far more money than I do just doing promo. They don't do anything else except for like, you know, this Friday on Fox at 9 p.m. You know, this show is happening. Watch it, and that's their thing. And they have a house 18 times the size of mine. And you're like, cool, bro. I'm in a video game. Yeah, so those are great. Also, if you go to, there's a couple of great websites I recommend. I want to be a voiceactor.com, which is run by Dee Baker, who's one of the most talented, prolific voice actors in the industry. It's a blog where he answers questions, he talks about getting into the industry, how to prepare your demos, what people are looking for, trends as they come through the industry. Highly recommend you take a look at that. Sweet. Thanks. Question, man.
Good day. Hello, PP. This is Master. I have a question for you.
Yes?
Oh, I'm DMing for my little kiddo in these groups. Oh, and we take them against a bunch of NPCs, and I'm just wondering, how do you handle the initiative and the roles and the order and all that good stuff? Because I'm not really hard with the numbers.
For me, initiative, having everyone shout numbers is way too chaotic for me. That's, if you see me, I'll ask from top to bottom. It's like, all right, 25 to 20, and if anyone says, you know, 23, then I'll just put their name at the top of just a piece of paper. And then I'll go, all right, 20 to 15, and so it says 18, I'll put their name next. If the creature or any enemies that I roll initiative for appear in that order as we go down, then I write them on a column to the right of that. So it will look like staggered, like player, player, enemy, player, enemy, player, player. So it's a visual distinction when I know that an enemy's coming up versus a player's turn, but also it gives me a consistent view that's quick to write and shows the actual order as it goes around. Like with layer actions, if there's things that happen on the initiative count of 20, I'll go ahead and mark that with an asterisk and put a 20 next to it, but it just taking quick notes and asking each player to give me their initiatives within the descending order. That way I don't have to worry about scattering numbers like 14, 12, 2, 6, 18, I don't. You're all going at the same time. So I feel you there, definitely. That's my method. And I'm sure if you look on YouTube, there's probably some great initiative tracker options. Some people prefer to roll before the game. Like actually, everyone rolls an initiative order at the top of the session, and then you keep track of that, and whenever battle happens, you just hold the numbers over and go with the moment, so you don't slow down that kind of like, boom, you're in battle moment. So there's a lot of cool methods to it to prevent that type of chaos.
Did have one last question for both of you, since you are nerdy as voice actors. Neverwinter is also one of my favorite games I play for Xbox One. Was wondering if you guys, because you're the king and queen of D&D, if you ever have any plans of doing any voiceovers or any kind of like interactions with that, being that it's an ever-growing kind of growing game.
I don't know. That's kind of up to them. Right? That's the hard part as an actor, is you can't be like, hey guys, I love your game, put me in it and pay me. Generally frowned upon in the industry, I've discovered. We love to be able to do that. But I like to think as we're more involved in the D&D sphere, that as they work on projects in the future, maybe they'll keep us in mind.
First. Maybe.
Somewhere in that mix, I'll be happy.
It's hard too though, because like on the other end of that wall, there's like, they've got 50 people working on creative too, and the casting director or marketing person might not know or give one lick about Critical Role. So,
So if you're working on a D&D video game, suggest the best.
well, the voices.
We're available. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we'll try to get these questions. We got
time?
We got very fast time, so we'll try to get through real quick.
So you guys have like your own range of voices, but has there ever been a character like in a game that you've played that you wish like your voice could fit them so you could act as them? Because like, I don't know, just as an example, my voice is really deep, but if I were to have a dream role, I love Princess Daisy from the Mario series, but I could never get my voice that high. Have you ever like felt that way about a certain character?
Geralt Rubio.
Laura Croft.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a certain level of gravel and texture to Geralt that I could only match with years and years of abusing alcohol.
A certain amount of British that comes with Laura Croft that only comes with being years and years of being British. So, I probably won't ever be Laura, but it's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll do our best to get to it.
I wrote it down.
Oh, we're getting out of time over here.
Alright.
Okay. Like when you were getting to voiceover at first, like how do you begin to figure out like what is the roadmap of like what system sort of like work to sort of do that? Because I'm taking like acting classes and stuff, but beyond that, I'm like it's like a blurry future.
Short answer is just training and acting classes. You can't be a voice actor until you learn to be an actor first.
There's no roadmap.
There's no roadmap. No roadmap. But there's sites like howtobeavoiceactor.com or a voiceover voice actor by Yuri and Tara is a book is a great stuff. They can help you there.
Kanji's awesome.
Are we done? Am I going to be like...
Rapid fire. Last two people. Go.
This is too, yeah, well, I know that. So, I'm jumping from theater to voiceover. From theater training, what's going to be like the best part of theater training to bring with me? Because they're not going to see my face or my body language, so...
You're ahead of the curve, actually. Theater is actually better for voiceover than coming from an on-camera background, because on-camera people have a hard time visualizing the scene around you, because just keep in mind you're going to be in a black box, so the best thing you can bring over is all of those visualization, those like scene and visualization exercises
all
that they
those
make
things
you
that
do.
they make you lay in a dark room and
100%, 100%. That's all voiceover is pretending you're actually on that battlefield and like looking around and pretending you see things.
Awesome.
Also, cold reading in general is one of the biggest skill sets for voiceover.
Yeah, practice
ever.
reading.
So cold reading is huge.
Awesome.
Yeah. Last question.
Thank you.
Hi there. So I always listen to your voice in the games like Fallout, Overwatch, Resident Evil, and Fire Emblem. But I'm always wondering, how did you get interest in the voice acting business?
Uber fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We grew up, interested in theater, but also grew up huge nerds.
Yeah.
And so as we got older, we're like, how can we marry these together? How can we just go be friends? And spent many years living impoverished lifestyles to get there.
Yeah, tiny studio apartments, roach motels.
You know the deal.
Crashing on friends' couches. We were very, very poor and starving for a very long time. That's kind of the lifestyle you accept. But yeah, we kind of just married all the